It's late at night. You're scrolling through the internet, maybe sipping on instant coffee that tastes more like sadness than actual coffee. All of a sudden, you see a headline. AI writes a novel in 30 seconds. Impressive, right? But then a thought creeps into your mind. Wait a second. Where did this AI get all that knowledge from? Did it sit in a quiet library somewhere, like some nerdy robot Hermione Granger, politely checking out books with its shiny little robot library card? Or maybe it sneaked through the back doors of the internet, grabbed a handful of ebooks, and ran off like a digital pirate. That's the question I have for you today. Did AI pay for the books it learned on? Or did it just pirate them? And the answer, well, let's just say it's not as clean as you'd hope. Before we point fingers at the AI like it just shoplifted an entire library section, let's quickly talk about how these things even learn. AI doesn't magically know stuff. It needs training data. And training data is basically, here's a mountain of text. Read it, digest it, and then try to write something new with it. It's like cramming for an exam, but reading every single book in the library. Except instead of pulling an all-nighter and eating cold pizza, the AI just slurps it all in, like a text vacuum cleaner. Now here's the kicker. Where do you think those mountains of text came from? Did someone hand over a neat little pile of licensed books with receipts stapled on top? Or was it more like, hey, there's a ton of free stuff online, let's just grab it? Cause I'm an AI, right? I'll let you guys guess which one sounds more realistic. Here's where things get tricky. AI companies will tell you, of course we didn't steal anything, we just borrowed it. For educational purposes, you see. Like, fair use, you know? But imagine this, right? You walk into a bookstore, flip through every book, cover to cover, take detailed notes, then walk out without even paying. If the security guard stops you, you say, relax, I didn't steal the book, I just memorized it. Technically true, right? But also very sketchy. And that's the legal limbo AI lives in right now. Companies argue they don't own the books, they just learn from them. But authors, publishers, and well, anyone who's ever bought a $20 ebook is like, hold on, if you use my work to train your billion-dollar robot, shouldn't I get a cut of that? Fair question, right? Let's not sugarcoat it any further. Writers are mad, and honestly, rightfully so. Imagine spending years hunched over your laptop, right? Typing and typing until your wrists are beet red, living off ramen and caffeine just to finish your book. Then one day, an AI spits out a story that sounds suspiciously like yours. And worse, the AI company made a truckload of money while you're still Googling, is exposure a valid form of payment? Some authors have actually tested AI by asking it, write a new book in the style of insert any famous writer here. And guess what? The AI often nails it. Why? Because it literally trained on that writer's work. That's like asking a parrot to sing Beyonce after you locked it in a room with Beyonce songs for a year. Of course, it's gonna sing Single Ladies, right? But here's the difference. Parrots don't make billions. AI companies do. So, did AI pirate books? Here's where it gets juicy. Investigations have shown that some AI models train on shadow libraries. Basically massive illegal databases of books, research papers, and articles. Places like Library Genesis, Z Library, you know, those websites that your college roommate swore by. Because textbooks cost more than rent. And what about these shadow libraries? Yeah, they're definitely not sending royalty checks to the authors. So if AI trained on those, well, it's kinda like saying, "No, officer, I didn't steal the movie. I just trained my brain by watching it illegally." That doesn't suddenly make it okay, right? And here's the part that really stings. AI companies are making money hand over fist. Billions in investments, billions in valuation. And yet, the people who actually wrote the books? Zero. Nada. Nothing. It's like if someone opened a restaurant, stole all the recipes from a famous chefs, and then when asked about payment, they say, "Oh, don't worry, we didn't copy the recipes exactly. We just trained our chef by making him taste test everything in your cookbook." Meanwhile, Gordon Ramsay is in the corner screaming, "Where's the lamb sauce? And my royalties?" Now imagine if you're a struggling indie author who finally published your passion project on Amazon Kindle. Then one day, you find out your words were gobbled up by an AI that's now writing free knockoffs in your exact style. Yeah, that's a kick in the teeth. So what happens now? Do we sue AI? Make it walk the plank? Drop it in a digital timeout? Well, some people already grabbed the legal harpoon and threw it. Big name authors and the Authors Guild launched class action lawsuits against AI firms. We're talking John Grisham, Jodi Picoult, David Baldacci, George R. Martin himself, and others who put their names and wallets where their pens are. Other writers sued too. Authors like Mona Awad and Paul Tremblay accused OpenAI of ingesting their books and using them to train ChatGPT. Yeah, they literally said this thing learned our work without permission. Then there are authors who took aim at Meta, including names you definitely recognize. Sarah Silverman, everyone. Junot Diaz, Andrew Sean Greer, arguing that Llama and other models were trained on unauthorized copies of their books. And in a headline-grabbing move, Anthropic agreed to a roughly $1.5 billion in settlement with a class of authors who alleged their works were used without permission, a deal that would pay authors and publishers if approved, though a judge has since asked some tough questions, like how that settlement would work in practice. So yeah, authors aren't just grumbling on Twitter, they've actually sued. They've pushed for settlements, and publishers around the world are lining up too. The courtroom drama is real, and it's forcing the question: do we patch the copyright rules, pay authors a fee, or rewrite the playbook for how AIs learn? And at the end of the day, here's the uncomfortable truth. AI didn't really pay for books the way you and I would. In many cases, it looks a lot more like pirating, but dressed up in a fancy suit with billion-dollar branding and lawyers to boot, ready to argue that it's all perfectly legal, you see. So the next time you see AI spitting out a novel, or a poem, or even a recipe, ask yourself, is this innovation, or just really high-tech plagiarism? And more importantly, if AI can do this with books today, what's stopping it from doing the same with music, with movies, or even games tomorrow? For now, if you want to know if Nintendo should patent gameplay or not, watch this next.